Welcome to Rambling Reality. Last week we talked about Dragon Con. The week before that, it was me and my friend Becca. Before that, depression and how cats can save lives. But this week it's a whole new topic land. It's all about driving. Alright, so I'm going to get to this fairly quick because I know sometimes y'all don't have long times for podcasting, even if I can't say the word all the time. So, here's the thing. I got my license when I was 21. I wasn't afraid to drive, even though my mother, when I was driving, made me go through the garage door, a wooden one, by the way, because she said to move up after trying to drive with her, and she was grabbing the wheel the whole time, and she almost caused me to have like 3 accidents. I was just done with it. Anyway, I still wasn't afraid to drive. I just couldn't parallel park. I'm in Atlanta. Can anybody imagine trying to parallel park on like Peachtree Street or any of the major roadways or even some of the smaller roadways? Not exactly the safest ideas. So, I was 21, got my license the week before Thanksgiving, which is pretty good and pretty awesome and pretty helpful actually, because that meant that I got to drive in sleet. So my first week of driving, actually my first day of driving with a license, I was driving in sleet, snow, going to get some food for my parents, whatever. It was cool with me. Then I've been driving. I've been through crazy weather because Atlanta has got some of the craziest weather sometimes in the middle of September through like September. There's never time that there's not some crazy weather and some crazy storms going on. But the biggest deal was probably in 2005 when I had just been diagnosed as a diabetic the year before, and I was learning to drive and be, active and being aware of being a diabetic, plus trying to do working and school and all that, and I ended up passing out because my insulin was the wrong combination. That was scary. I was at the wheel. Thankfully it was just a fender bender, and the person was very understanding and realized that I couldn't do anything about it. I was literally just like gone. And so I didn't drive for a month after that. I waited until I felt like I was comfortable in my skin and comfortable behind the wheel. It's not always that easy. For me, I don't like admitting faults. I don't like admitting weakness, but that was a weakness, and it was a very important weakness for me to learn from. So that was the last time I had a major issue. Until Thursday night. One of my coworkers is leaving, and so we had a going away party, and it was raining, and it was gross, and it was the rain. The roads were slick. It was that misting rain that never ends, and I was on my way back. And where I was going, the highway had little to no lights. It was just dark. Because, I don't know, apparently on the side of Atlanta that I live on now, they don't believe in light systems. I don't know, I don't get it. Anyway, so I was on my way back, and my car hydroplaned. Never had that happen before. Even scarier, my car went from the far right lane that I was in across the grass median into the turning lane for the opposite direction traffic. Yeah, and I was facing the opposite traffic. Thankfully, there was no major traffic close enough that I was freaked out about. But it was pretty scary for me as a driver, and I was like freaking out, but I moved my car across the way, stopped, had like a screaming fit inside my head, a very quiet whimper out loud. And I checked and I made sure I was okay, and then I had to find my own way back. Not one person stopped to make sure I was okay. Call me crazy, but if I see someone spinning like crazy, I'm going to make sure they're okay. I was really lucky I didn't hit anybody. I have no idea what caused the hydroplaning. The roads must have just had a moment where I couldn't see it. I wasn't speeding. I was actually going under the speed limit. I was doing everything that I could do, but sometimes things are just out of your control. So I had to find my way back home in the dark, in the rain, same rain I'd spun out in. Found my way home finally, came back. I was like, yeah, nope. So this is what I've learned. One, right now, I do not feel strong enough to drive in the dark, in the rain. I just don't. If someone's going to have anything in the dark and it's raining, sorry, Jesse's staying home that day. I'm not. I can't. I don't feel secure in my own abilities. But I also found out I was stronger than I knew because that was pretty scary to me. Like, I just remember flashes, just putting my foot off the accelerator and just letting myself slide and fly. I thought I was going to die because I went running right towards these huge tall pine trees. Pine trees are not the most sturdy trees. They can fall real easy. So I was hoping I didn't hit them. Thankfully, I stopped in the middle of where I did because my back tires were still on the grass. My front tires were on the pavement. I was enough that I could see the traffic and I could see how close they were. They were a good minute away, if not less. So I had to book it across the street to get where I did so I would be safe. I was just scared, solid. It's really hard to scare me, by the way. I'm not easily intimidated. I'm not easily scared. None of that stuff really goes with me. But that pretty much scared me back to being a new driver. In part because right now in Atlanta, we're having these gross weather days where it's nonstop raining and just, you know, that misty drizzle that never seems to leave, and the ground is soaked and the roads are just wet, and it's not pretty. And I was on a major highway that I don't like taking at night, but where I was coming from, it was the only way I could get back to where I needed to be in a timely manner. Timely manner being, 45 minutes instead of, an hour and 45 minutes. But it's nice to know that strength comes from, I want to say, survival. Because I feel like I survived something there. Because if anything had been a few seconds before or after, I may not be here today. It was pure luck, pure coincidence, pure whatever that made me be here. And so I've been kind of rolling with that. And so, driving is kind of scary to me. I don't know if I'd call it scary. Let me rephrase that. I would say it's more of a hesitation. It's a hesitation in not trusting everything I know to be as it should be. Thankfully, and I'm alive. Woohoo! I don't know if the rest of you care. I care. But I'm alive. I'm okay. It's strange. It's really strange to realize that. This is going to be a short episode because I want you guys to comment. I want you guys to comment into what I'm talking about. I want you to give me some feedback. I want you to tell me what you've experienced as a driver. What scared you? What's made you nervous? What's made you pause and take a break and go, okay, maybe not so much. Give me some feedback because I kind of want to know what other people's experiences are. Because those are the ones that have really scared me, the passing out and the hydroplaning a while ago. I'm not real comfortable driving to Nashville from Atlanta because I don't like going through Chattanooga if I can. Monteagle is one hell of a drive that I can avoid at all costs if I can. I like going to Nashville. I just don't like getting there. it's not a great place for me to go because I don't feel safe on that road as well. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys have a place that just makes you go, nope? Do you have a Mont Eagle? Do you have a not after dark? What makes you guys motivated? Because I feel like I talk about myself a lot here, which, duh, it's a podcast about me. But I want to know who you guys are that are listening, you know? So, ping me back at Jessica Hannon 81 on Twitter, Instagram, although this isn't really Instagrammable. Facebook is jessica.hannon.587, I think. Woohoo, if I got it right. Woo, if I didn't. I never get that one right. That one's just an evil thing because someone stole my name. But catch me. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you feel. I don't want this to just be about me. I want to talk about experiences that other people have. So I'm going to make this a very, very short episode. Next week will be all about pop culture because that's just how I want to roll. No point making everything make sense week to week to week, right? Alright, so, in recap, driving after dark, not happening anytime soon. Driving in the rain, if I must. Other news, not a lot going on. Just the basics. You know, it's one of those skim weeks of paychecks, so muffin cakes for dinner and breakfast every night for a while. I'm very honest about that sort of stuff. It is what it is. I will talk to you guys next week. Hopefully you guys are following me on social media because I swear I'm way more interesting when you're not listening to me babble. I have a lot more things coming up. I've got Dawn Rosa's interviews I've got to finish up, as well as a couple of panels from DragonCon. And I'm going to break out and do, I promise, Wild Pantheon Press at some point. I've just been really slammed with working 40-hour weeks, working some of the other times when I can, and just being really exhausted. It's really hard being a grown-up. I didn't quite expect that. So,